Sup nerds, I'm Wes.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Aaron.
Today we're serving up a pizza pie!
Hey,
with a New York
slices
slice.
of pizza!
Yay!
Eat your pizza! Hey, get it! Yeah. New York Slice is basically like a drafting game of sorts because you have the pizza in stacks. They're basically just different values. You're trying to set collect. But there's one person who's a slicer who says, well, there's going to be this pile, and then you kind of draft the piles. Mm-hmm. But the big catch is the person who slices is the person who picks last. So if you pick, oh, there's one slice, and then all this, you're not going to get all this.
You're going to get that one the most awful pile is usually the one you get as the slicer.
Which is why you want to kind of try to divvy it up such that, like, every piece, you want to almost make it even, mm-hmm. or almost make like okay, I really want to go for the 11s, so I'm going to make the pile with the most 11s the least desirable pile, such that I get the thing that I want, but none of you guys have any incentive to try to take it from me.
And because it's 11 slices of pizza, and this special thing, which is a random, like, it's hard to, like, if it was 12 slices of pizza, you could always split it up evenly, and this is trying to make it even, but it's hard to judge the value of these. I mean, the ones that are just straight up points is one thing, but if it has to do with like future set collection, like the one where the half slices are worth 2 each, it's like, well, I don't have any now, but maybe I will. And he has one, so he wants this. Like, the value of that thing is now worth more to you than it is to anybody else. So where do you put that? It's a lot of really good, like, mind games almost.
Yeah, especially because you can't rearrange the pizzas. Like, however they're dealt out is how they're going to be. So it's like, oh man, I'd really love to put that piece over here, but I can't unless I bring these other 2 pieces with it, and then I have to kick this off. So, like, there's definitely, like, when you're the slicer, you have to take some time to be like, all right, just give me a second. I got to, like, math it out. What does everyone have?
It almost makes me think that the B-roll that we're going to have for this is going to be really boring, even when we speed it up, because it's just going to be a lot of, take. Also, when you take it, it's not even just set collection, because you can eat them, too.
Having that option to actually eat the pizzas does make the choices even a little more difficult when you're trying to divide it up, because you're like, okay, if he's going for sets of this number, he might want to take this. But this one, if he doesn't keep it, like this 11 right here, it has 3 pepperonis on it.
I think all 11s do.
No, there's a couple that have 2.
Yeah, that one has 2. Okay, most of them seem to have 3s.
So, like, if you're going for 11s and you're trying to get the most of them, you can get 11 points. But if you just, eat 2 or 3 11s, you can.
If you get all the 11s, it's 33 points. Like,
almost.
Almost.
But except we just said
we just said they don't.
The one that has an anchovy that you're gonna 32 points because you're gonna flip that one over.
But being able to eat a pepperoni for a point definitely is a strategy that needs to be dealt. You need to use it when you're not going to win a certain type, because there's a point where somebody already has the lead, and unless you have some sort of daily special that makes you jump ahead, like with the doubles on the half slices, or there's ones that
do other stuff,
do other things. I know you can just eat a whole pile. That one's really good.
That one's really good.
Later, like you've been collecting the 10s, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, he has 6 of them, I only have 4. I want to eat my 10s now.
Boom. And there is a decent amount of min-maxing you can do in that area on like the last round, when especially if you're the last person, like if you're the slicer in the last round, it sucks because again, you're being the slicer means you're getting slim pickings, but you can always look at that pile and be like, all right, this is it. So this, like, what do I have? 3s? He's winning 3s, so I can eat this 3. 4s? I'm already winning 4s, so that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, you can really maximize your points in that last round. And in theory, you can do that. No, not because there's like counting, because you know how many slices of each number there are, but when they eat them, it's face down, and I'm pretty certain that pile is not public knowledge. Yeah.
And there are the slices that are just put to the side that no one really knows what they are. So
true.
I think my favorite thing with my favorite special is the one that makes everyone else's eaten pizzas, like every 2 is worth a negative point. Because we came to that point where like I had almost no eaten slices. It's my first time playing it, so like I wasn't doing very well. But that came to that point where I'm like, I really want that because they both have like -6 points sitting in front of them when they're eating slices, where I have almost no negative points. So if I don't get it, like it's not that big a deal to me. But if I can get it, then I can give them a whole bunch of negative points. And I was slicing that time, so again, I was able to play those mind games of how can I make everything else more desirable, that they know they're going to get those negative points, but they're going to pass that up to, get more points hopefully somewhere else, but at the same time not leaving myself with garbage.
Garbage pizza sucks.
Yeah.
Garbage pizza.
I've actually eaten garbage pizza. It's almost always free, which makes it better.
What are you talking about? We would be remiss if we were to review this game and not talk about the production quality as it pertains to the thematics of the game. As you can see,
check.
Yeah, that's the end game scoring thing, is these guest checks, which are awesome. That box right there, Wesley, go ahead and open that up. It's like a freaking, look at that.
How does
It does not open.
Yeah,
It's
there
like
you
a
go.
pizza.
It's like a pizza box. Yeah, with no pizza.
And if
in
there
it.
was a pizza in it, just you guys keep talking. I'll
Okay.
make this better.
And the rules straight up look like an Italian restaurant. Here, Vanna White, hold that junk up. Look at that.
What would you like to eat today? Look at all these different slices.
Yeah. Except I think my only complaint is that today's specials, how they clarify. I don't think they clarify that much, because it was at least the veggie one that we weren't certain exactly how it works, and then we're like, oh, well, let's look in the rule book, and we're like, oh, that didn't answer our question.
Hey, look, there's a pizza! Hey, there's a pizza!
Peralta! This game oozes theme, and this game is, I heard, it's a retheming. It was originally a game based on pie. We're splitting pie, and I think pizza's way better. I love pie, but if I had to, eat pie for the rest of my life or pizza for the rest of my life, I have diabetes, so that's an easy choice.
No, this game definitely feels like you stepped into a New York pizzeria and you and your buddies are like, oh, let's get some pizzas. And then you're like, oh, crap, we got to split this up. I'm taking this, you take that. And everybody's just like kind of fighting over the pizza, like if you're college roommates. Like
The only thing that's missing is that weird wire thing that holds the pizza up. You know what I'm saying?
The little mini table? The triangle?
No, not the thing that goes in the box. But yes, that is missing. The thing at the
no,
restaurant, it's like this.
the pan holder that
Yes.
holds the pizza up.
Yes.
You only get that at nice pizza places. Like Cece's never has that.
It's a buffet.
Is that the dumpster you always raid?
Just in case CC's wants to sponsor us, CC's is great.
We love Cece's. We love your dumpster pizza. I really loved playing New York Slice. It was so much fun. The thematics alone really got me. It was one of those things that I was like, okay, that's really cool. It is great. The only negative I have actually is that in 2 and 5 players, which I guess I would never play with 2, but I would play it with 5, you have to remove some slices, so there's a little bit of setup time there, I guess. And then in 4 players, it's weird because the way you split it up is you get stacks of 11, which gives you 6 stacks of 11, which is perfect for 3 players because then we're each the slicer twice. Mm-hmm. But in a 4-player game, there's going to be 2 people who were the slicer 2 more times, which means that there's 2 people who were next to the slicer. So seating matters a lot.
Yeah.
So that is, and I guess that's another complaint, is that seating does kind of matter. So if you and me are always real icy whenever we're playing games, so it would important where we sit. You know what I mean? You don't think about that all that much in other games because like 7 Wonders and stuff. I guess most drafting games, that is the truth. So I retract that point.
I know I do throw around my favorite a lot, but I think this is my favorite kind of divide the spoils type of game. There's another one that I've played. It's called Spoils of War.
And Zooscape's like that too, right?
Zooscape,
yeah.
yeah. You kind of you divide the animals up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which way we're gonna run. But that one's simultaneous selection as well. I mean, everybody has a different take on the divide of the spoils type of game. And this one's based on pizza, and who doesn't love pizza? There are a lot of very interesting choices. Going into this game, you have to know the amount of slices there are of each pizza, and it's very simple. The 11s, there's 11 of them. 9s, there's 9 of them. 5s, there's 5 of them.
What about 4s?
There's 4 of those. What? That's crazy. There is the one slice that can be used as any slice, so that can kind of throw it off. And then, as Wes kind of mentioned earlier, there are slices that are removed, so you can't completely count the cards, the pizza slices, But having that knowledge, knowing what people have already drafted and trying to remember what they've eaten, because once somebody eats it, you can't look at it again.
Not for a couple of hours. At least.
What did he eat earlier?
Oh, you had corn on your pizza.
Gross.
I really love this game. I think that it's really great for beginning gamers and just, a social game where you can sit around and, drink and play a game that isn't super, super strategic, but there are, a lot of fun take-that interactions that can happen.
Yeah, I do think this is almost like the longer end of game for a filler for me. Like, it's definitely not a game night game if you're a gamer. You know, if you are just like hang out, you have a couple games on your shelf, you've got like, you know, this game and then like King of Tokyo and some of those kind of intro-y games. This would go great with those. It's definitely just fun though. Like, that's the biggest thing I can say about it is between the theme and just the gameplay, there's like definitely competitiveness, but I really don't think it's gonna get that cutthroat because there's not like that much you can do against each other other than the mind games of I'm gonna divvy it up, so hopefully you don't get what you want. But because you still get, besides the slice, you still get to choose something, so it's not like, you know, you just get nothing every time you get something.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game is perfect for like, you know, convention meetups. Like, this is perfect for like when we're going to Gen Con and we're meeting up with some of the other content creators out there that we don't ever get to hang out with in person. This would be a perfect way for us to game together and still like get to know each other and chat a little bit. You know, if we're playing a super heavy Euro, it's like a brain burner, we're not gonna like get to know each other. We're just gonna get to know each other's bad sides. You know, so this is a great, fun social game because it's better with three, maybe not double date, but like date with a third wheel game. This is your go-to date with a third wheel game.
Well, if any of that weird stuff that Wes just said sounds interesting to you, you can go ahead and pick up a copy with the purchase link that we have in the description box down below.
And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.
You took it from Aaron.
It's okay.
Do you think if they had an expansion, would it be like a breadsticks, cheese sticks, wings, the wings expansion?
The Wings and Things expansion has wings and breadsticks.
That'd be good.